Hey everybody, welcome to week 4. Now, this week we are talking about the rise of China. But really what we're going to be doing is putting a finer point on some of the questions that we raised last week while we were talking about global trade. So for example, last week we talked a lot about imports and exports, debt and deficits, who benefits from global flows of trade around the world. Well, we're going to ask all those same questions again this week, but now we're talking specifically about the boom in Chinese manufacturing over the last 25 to 30 years. Has that been a good thing or a bad thing for China? Has it been a good thing or a bad thing for the United States? Has it been a good thing or a bad thing for the world? And I'm going to ask you not just to think about things in terms of China and the United States, because these are both very big countries. I want you to think about specific groups and people within China, within the United States, and for that matter, within Japan, within Germany, within South Korea, because these questions get really complicated really quickly. Another question that we started talking about last week was one about trade and human rights. How should we feel about factories around the world that operate basically like what we would consider sweatshops? Should we feel good or bad about that? Again, this week we're going to put a finer point on it. The computer I'm recording this on, as well as the phone that I'm never without, were both manufactured in China, and they were made by people working in conditions that to me would seem incredibly harsh, for salaries that to me would seem incredibly low. How should I, as a consumer in the wealthy world, feel about that fact? And more important, what should I do about it? So those are the issues we're going to be thinking about this week. Now, what do you have to do? We have a discussion thread, as usual, posts Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll have a live class, 2 different live class sessions on Tuesday. Please attend at least one. You have a couple of PlayPosit videos to get through. Finally, we're going to be closing out the Unit 1 projects this week. So for those of you who have been keeping up with your deadlines, you should now have 6 posts on the 2 countries you've chosen. I'm going to suggest some edits to you earlier in the week. Ask you to complete those edits by Wednesday. By Friday, I'm going to ask you to add an intro video block as well as a block detailing your sources. That'll complete your wiki page. And then by Sunday, I'm going to ask you to look at your fellow students' wiki pages and leave comments, substantive, constructive comments for 3 of them. Easy as that. If you have any questions or any problems, please get in touch with me anytime. I'm really excited for this week as we close out globalization of economies. Next week, we will start talking about ecology and everything will change.